Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. Gennady Golovkin's promoter says they are looking at Ryota Murata for an international fight, and he could be the front runner for Golovkin's next opponent. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working now. Shout out to ESPN, link in the description. It says in their article and interview, Gennady Golovkin's camp taking its time to determine next moves, right? Unified middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez set to get back to business fighting super middleweight Rocky Fielding December 15th. But Alvarez's rival, former champion Gennady Golovkin, is taking his time figuring out his next move. And this is a very interesting interview with Tom Loeffler. And he's talking about basically his fighter being pursued since HBO boxing is now, going to be defunct or passe. He's talking about their next move, and he's just kind of playing the field. He said he got offers from Showtime, DAZN, and ESPN to acquire Golovkin. They also talk about Tom Loeffler, a fight with Ryota Murata, who's fighting this weekend against Rob Brant, who has a record of 23-1, 16 knockouts, right? And they're talking about the prospects. And this article says Murata is co-promoted by Akihiko Honda of Tekken Boxing and Top Rank, which is only a few months into a new 7-year deal with ESPN, right? Murata, 32, will make his second title defense against mandatory challenger Rob Brant of St. Paul, Minnesota on Saturday at Park MGM in Las Vegas in the main event. Loeffler said he will be in attendance, and if Murata is victorious, he views him as the front runner to fight Gennady Golovkin next. Quote, Murata fights this weekend, and he is a very attractive option if he beats Brant, Loeffler said. I have a good relationship with Mr. Honda and Top Rank, and that fight seems like it's very makeable, right? Top Rank chairman Bob Arum and Loeffler have spoken about the prospects of the fight, which they would want to do in the Tokyo Dome, where Buster Douglas famously knocked out Mike Tyson to win the heavyweight world title in 1990 in one of the greatest upsets in sports history. Quote, after the Murata fight, if he wins Saturday, he becomes a very interesting opponent, Loeffler says. Gennady has always enjoyed fighting internationally. We know what Golovkin brings to the table, and Murata brings monster ratings in Japan, and he is very popular. I would say he has distinguished himself as the front runner if he can win on Saturday night, right? Arum reiterated that he would like to make the fight with Murata and Golovkin next if Murata takes care of Brant. Quote, he may have lost the decision, Golovkin, but I thought he won the fight against Canelo Alvarez, Arum said. He's a big name, and if Triple G fights Murata in Japan in the Tokyo Dome, that would be absolutely huge. In Tom Loeffler, he's a good guy, great promoter, understands boxing, and it's up to us and Honda and co-promoter Murata to make Tom an offer he can't refuse. Any fight we make would not preclude from a third fight with Canelo, he said. So, let me get this straight. Golovkin's team, when they first came out, said they'll fight anyone from 154 to 168, and they've never left middleweight, 160. They fought Vanes Martirosyan when Canelo fucked up and failed his drug test. A guy coming off a 2-year layoff, a loss to Erislandy Lara, moved up in weight from 154 to 160. You knock him out fairly easily in the second round. Got stung at the end of the first round. I was at the fight. And, Canelo beat you, fights a different style, beat you in the rematch. Good fight. Some people said it was close. Some people had Golovkin winning. People like Bob Arum also, I guess, had Golovkin winning in the rematch. And the WBC has their convention in Kiev, Ukraine. They order you to fight Jermall Charlo, and the winner would see Canelo, the winner between Jermall Charlo and Gennady Golovkin. Now you have Tom Loeffler saying the front runner is Ryota Murata because he does numbers in Japan, because he's a Japanese fighter, if he beats Rob Brant, who already lost, and that's not, people have losses, that's cool. But so, what does this say about Team Golovkin and where they're at? Sounds like they're trying to make really money, you know, at the end, at this point of his career, without the kind of the resume to back it up. Because I agree, like, you know, there's people in the Asian market, like let's say Zhao Shiming in China, or Ryan Murata, right, who I'm sure they have a lot of fans in their homeland, you know. I mean, same like Golovkin probably has a lot of fans in Kazakhstan. Pacquiao has a lot of fans in the Philippines. But now, you know, Jermall Charlo is a name that we all want to see Triple G fight. It got ordered, and you know, now they're talking about making a fight with the guy who's really not even known in America, Ryan Murata, even though they're doing the fight in Las Vegas. You know, he's doing a title defense. He lost to Hassan Indam, you know, a bit controversial, but on paper he lost. And then as far as Rob Brant, he lost to the Jürgen Breiheimer, you know. He lost the fight, I think it was in the World Boxing Super Series, right? And they're saying if Murata beats him, you know, a once beaten guy, then that could catapult this Golovkin fight. So, you know, it sounds like they're just going after the money. And this is really a contradiction to what Team Golovkin had said they wanted in the sport of boxing. But I guess since Golovkin has no belts, he has no obligations, so they're just looking to make the most money. You know, definitely it can't be about legacy, you know, because I would say a Charlo, a Jacobs rematch, you know, Canelo trilogy, Demetrius Andrade if he wins. I mean, those would probably be more legacy fights. Nothing against Ryan Murata, but he's probably proven the least out of all of them. He's the least known, at least in America. That's why they would have to stage it at the Tokyo Dome or wherever Mike Tyson got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's funny how boxing is working right now. Other thing is everyone's like ecstatic about this Canelo deal. You got to look at it. Tom Loeffler is with, you know, he's K2 Promotions. Ryan Murata is with Tekken, the Tekken group. I think they have Chocolatito and some other people, right? And he's also co-promoted by Top Rank. Where's Top Rank have their fights? On ESPN. So ESPN, Showtime, and DAZN made offers to Gennady Golovkin. So people were like, oh yes, now that DAZN's out, everything is going to be so easy. You know, this is better for boxing, only $9.99 a month. You know, slow your roll, because you guys have to be able to look in advance and see this stuff, right? This is an ESPN article, and it sounds like between promoters, Bob Arum, Mayweather, he's a barren fighter. You know, between Bob Arum and Tom Loeffler, they're in agreement that should Ryan Murata win, that he's a front runner. You know, Ryan Murata is a front runner to face Golovkin in Japan. You know, the promoters like it. So you have to look at the next step. Okay, the promoters like the fight. You know, Golovkin's entrusting Tom Loeffler to get him the best deal and you know, manage his career. So who does Bob Arum in the Tekken group, who are they currently working with? ESPN. So, you know, there are some potential complications with this DAZN deal. Canelo's over there with DAZN, right? A lot of times when these deals come about, they're not just singular deals like Triple G for one fight. You know, I'm sure ESPN is going to want to get Triple G for a couple of fights, if anything. So, you know, like I said, the Canelo's making a lot of money, no doubt about it, shattering records with his monster deal. That's good for Canelo. But again, it remains to be seen until we see in writing and see the matchups and see them get made like cross promotionally, you know, streaming app. ESPN has their own streaming app, ESPN Plus. You know, is ESPN Plus, is Bob Arum going to want to send, like, let's say they sign Triple G to an ESPN deal, right? And it's co-promoted by Top Rank and K2. Are they going to want to, you know, make a Canelo trilogy fight and then instead of putting on ESPN Plus or ESPN, putting it on DAZN, you know? So there's some things that we definitely need as boxing fans, and it's only going to get resolved through time. But aside from the DAZN, you know, potential another Cold War of all these fighters being split, Charlo's with Showtime and Fox, you know, Ryan Murata is with Top Rank and Tekken, and they have a deal, a 7-year deal with ESPN. Canelo just has a 5-year deal with DAZN. You know, all these fighters are split. what's up with the boy Jermall Charlo? Why can't he get any looks? You know, even when the WBC orders him to fight, you say you want to fight Canelo in a trilogy, but you're looking towards your team is looking towards Ryan Murata more than Charlo, who's expressed an interest, posted on Instagram. You know, Ellie Seckbeck has an interview with Tom Loeffler, and he says that, oh yeah, Charlo, Lions only. Him and his brother are great, making a lot of noise, right? But you're looking at a money fight in Japan in a whole different market that really doesn't mean the same thing as beating, you know, some of the contemporary American champions and or Canelo. And you know, it sucks because we see it so clear. Errol Spence, Luis Ortiz, Jermall Charlo, these guys are getting frozen out. They have contemporaries who would put on good fights. It'd be good challenges for them, but between injuries, the guy doesn't want to fight him, politics, the powers that be, starving them out, freezing them out, these different things on different networks across the street. It's like, you know, the likelihood of seeing these fights in a reasonable amount of time, it doesn't necessarily look that promising, to be honest, you know. And I don't think Ryan Murata, with one loss, you know, to Hassan Endam, who David Lemieux beat and knocked down 4 times, 6 times, and Peter Quillen beat and knocked down 6 to 8 times. I don't see how that's a priority unless we're just talking money. From a money perspective, yeah, that's a priority because I guess he has a good fan base in Japan. But, you know, that's what it's all about then, I guess. You know, all the stuff that Triple G's team said about legacy and all the belts, you're not inching closer to real belts. I know Ryan Murata has a version of the belt. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of Triple G versus Murata as opposed to Charlo. And we have to see how Murata looks versus Brant. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.